Hello, everyone. This is Jen with Jen's Den Art, and welcome to In the Den with Jen. This is In the Den with Jen number 18. Come on here. Oops, I have, there we go. I had two microphones on, I guess. How are all of y'all doing? Let me know if you can hear me and see me. Delete. Hello, hello. You cannot hear me. Okay. Hmm. Let me see. No sound? Am I right? Let me see if let me see if I can get my sound going. Hang on. You know, I always forget something. Sound, sound, sound. Maybe that'll work. And this. Okay, what about now? Can you hear me now? Am I working now? Let's see if I can find the comments again. Hello, hello. Yes, now you can hear me? Yes. Hello, everyone. Come on in, come on in. Yeah, I'm so excited you're here today. Come on in, come on in. Okay, so I am right here on my little screen, I'm mixing my colors together, and I'm gonna show y'all what colors I'm using today, and look how super cute this is that we are gonna paint. I had a fun painting day yesterday, playing around with Valentine stuff. I'm like, "You know what? It's time. It's time to get into all of those lovey-dovey pinks and reds and flowers and all of that good stuff that I have not touched in probably 6 months or more. So I'm super excited to get back into those, and I have a surprise for y'all. We are gonna be opening up a tribe again in February because February 1st is my 4-year anniversary to the membership. So we are going to have a surprise pop-up paint party coming up. I said I wasn't gonna do it anymore, but I'm like, I have to. It's my 4-year anniversary. I have to do something fun. So we're gonna have a pop-up paint party, and I am working on everything pink roses. Just to let you know, it's all gonna be about pink roses and flowers, mainly roses. We're gonna focus on roses and pinks and reds, and it's gonna be super fun. So look for that coming. You will be able to register for that in the next couple of weeks. So look for that coming. That's gonna be so much fun. Okay, the sound is strange. Let me see what I have to do here. I can fix this. I can fix this. Hang on. Let me see. Um, this is what I have to unmute, which I got that. Let me go to settings, audio. Okay. All right. Here. Okay. Tell me if that's better because I have like 5 different microphones I could use. Yes, sound is back. Is there echo? Sound is back. Is there an echo? It's great now. Yay. Okay. That's because I find still garbled. Man, choppy. Let me do this. All right, let's try this now. Let me know if this will work. Going in and out. Let me know. It was perfect before I did the last thing. Somebody told me it was All right, we're going with this. I think this so, I had to turn off my camo mic. I need to write this down so I can remember what works. So I have to turn off my camo mic, turn off camo mic, and use StreamYard. Go, go to wireless. Okay, I have to y'all have no idea how many microphones I have going on here. So, if you would know all of the wires and stuff that I have going on behind the scenes, you would understand why they're difficult. So, yay, I'm glad we got alright. Working when someone said I was not. Sound still going in and out. Alright. For mail today, Jen. Okay, Elizabeth. Sound is still going in and out. Alright, well, I'm going I might have to, um yeah, I've turned off all of them except one. So, I know y'all have no idea what we go through on the back end for this kind of stuff. Audio sounds. I'm gonna go here and alright, let's get started, and y'all just keep me updated on what's happening with the sounds, and if I have to re-record it with a different audio, I will just have to do so, but for now, I just gotta move forward 'cause we gotta get started. Alright, let's do this. I'm gonna change my screen so y'all can see what we're gonna be working on. Here's the actual, painting that I painted. I just kinda made it up as I went. And what I'm gonna do now is remove my face because y'all don't have to see me. And so I'm just gonna go on my solo layout here, and I'm gonna start by drawing this. Now, you have to template it in hang on, let me get the you have to paste, paste, paste. Nope. Let me get the link for the template. If you are already on my email list, you have already gotten the template. I already sent it to everybody that is in my email list at 10 AM this morning to invite, um, all of you to come and watch the live today. So, you've already gotten the template. If you are not a part of my email list, I am going to share the link right now in the comments. I'm gonna share the link right it starts off skilled producer, HTTPS skilled producer, okay? Alright, you should see it. Let's hope you see it. And we're gonna get started. I am not gonna use the template. I am working on an 11 by 14, which is what I provided for you on the template. This is an old canvas that I decided to repurpose because I didn't like the painting that I had on it. I've been doing that a lot lately. I've been just trying to repurpose some old canvases instead of letting them hang around and do nothing with them. So here's a canvas I gessoed over it with white, and then I white and my, um, fluorescent pink that you see right the fluorescent pink. I mixed my white and fluorescent pink, and I kind of gave it a nice backwash of a little light pink. I thought it would look good, and I wanted to try it. So, yeah, we're gonna start off with a little bit of backwash. And you know what? I'm gonna start off by drawing in the word then after I draw love, I'm gonna make my rope. So my vision for this painting was just to give you an idea of what I was trying to create. I was trying to create, um, kind of like a vintage, um, backdrop, Okay, and it was kind of like, like an old barn look, gray. And then in the background, there's like a bunch of, lime and rose bushes on the fence, and this is just, I don't know, maybe like a clothesline. It's some little, like ornaments hanging on the clothesline, fur that came on it, and you can see like the little clothesline hangers on the ends. So that's kind of the vibe that I was going for. I wanted it to be vintage. I wanted, a little cool, have a little bit here, and I'm just gonna draw some hearts. Nothing special. I don't even I'm not even really interested in the design for hearts. I do like kind of like the vintage style hearts when they're kind of skinny. So that's kind of what he I'm trying to make these hearts down like that. So you can use the template, or you can just follow along with me and create your own unique piece. This one's going to be really cool. And we're going to have hearts at the top, and I want them to almost look like stitched together, stuffed with stuffing. So I'm going to make the L look like it's kind of that, and then the O I'm going to kind of make it look like a heart with a little hole in the middle. Okay. Um, let's go with the V. I'm gonna make it kind of look like a heart as well. And the E, I'm gonna make it a little awkward. It's gonna have a hole in the middle, like that. Okay. This is a little bit straight. Move my E up, or I don't know. So the line is gonna go about right to my clothesline hangers. And I like this space I have in here. I did not have that space in the first one. Then I'm gonna have my little bird. I like the little yellow bird here. Do make it bigger. Um, Awkward bird, not anything special. Okay, and so that's kind of just my eyeball effect of what I want. I'm gonna, of course, have all of these vines in here, but I'm not gonna draw this out using my color because I think this and let's work it. So let's see how it goes. I have water right here. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use a larger paintbrush. Okay, let's talk about the colors I have out. I have titanium white. Let me just it's titanium white, just a regular black. Let me grab my water so I can take a sip. This is quinacridone magenta. Can you- This is cadmium yellow. This is a fluorescent. I'll show you. Yeah, this is just like a rose fluorescent. Okay, this is a primary red. You can use any red, it doesn't matter. This is just a little bit of burnt umber. This is ultramarine blue, and this is actually a mixture of the cad yellow and the blue together, green, kind of like a sap green. So all I did was mix cad yellow and um, Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with the background, and I'm gonna take my large flat paintbrush, and I'm gonna make a gray with my white and more white and black, and I'm just gonna start bringing gray onto my canvas here. We're gonna have fun with this one. We are going to have fun. So I'm okay if it does not cover the entire canvas everywhere. Keep it loose. I want to have fun with this. My way of having fun is like, there's no rules. We're just gonna work with what we have and come out. All right. So there's nothing special that has to be done. We are just a gray background. And I really like the paint showing. I did not do that on the original. I did not backwash the pink. So see the difference in this one. And also the first thing that I did was on some type of really thick watercolor paper. And now the second time I'm painting it on an actual canvas, and it's gesso. So I'm really excited about painting this. uh, Have y'all ever painted on watercolor paper acrylics before? It's a little different. Your it doesn't move that well, and, you have to use a lot more water in your acrylics to really get, um, the effect that you want. Can y'all relate, y'all who have painted on watercolor paper before? And I try to use when I paint with acrylic on watercolor paper, I use at least 240 pound color paper. I use really thick because of, um, acrylic being so hard to move. It just makes it easier to keep the paper down. Anybody? All right. Get all of this. Okay, so very, very loose. Let me go with just a teeny bit more white. Pass it. Notice that I'm keeping all of my strokes straight up and down. Water moves a little easier. Just gonna pass a few. Maybe you want yours to be more of a brown. You can definitely go look. I just love the contrast of the gray against it. Keep the colors there. It's just a personal preference. I my mic. Okay, if I turn my mic off, y'all are not gonna be able to hear me. If y'all can hear me now. Can you hear me? I just switched mics. Y'all let me know if it works. You can hear me? Is it better? Yes, it's perfect now. Okay, good. I just switched mics. So now we're on my iPhone. Let's hope that keeps up there. Okay. All right. So let's keep on going here. Yay, I'm glad we fixed it. Yay, yay. Okay. That is my first layer. I like it. I like it a lot, and I'm going to continue to work on this, and I'm gonna grab a small liner brush. Okay, see, it's just a really thin liner brush, and I'm gonna dab into my black. My black is very thin. It's actually, I'll show you what it is. It's a fluid acrylic. Okay, it's fluid. It's like very, very inky. I'll show you. I'll pour a little bit. See how inky it is? It's almost like an ink. All right, and it's kind of transparent. So it's a really nice black to use for this type of painting. It's basically, it's almost like a watered down black, and it's called ivory black. I really like it. Um, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some lines, not all the way down or all the way across. I'm just going to make some, um, just a variety of lines to make it look like there's boards. I don't want the boards to look like they're the same exact distance apart, so I'm going to make some closer together than others. And I'm not doing the greatest job of making them straight up and down. So if you would want to make them more straight up, maybe use a ruler or even like a piece of paper like this, which this is just this is a dried out paper palette that I was using. You can just take something like this to help you make your lines straighter. Just totally up to you how you want to do that. Stella, you're gonna have to let you out. You keep on walking around, they can hear your steps. Okay. So I'm also gonna use a flat brush, and I'm gonna make this a little bit more, um, put some more gray, like, right around the edges. Don't even worry about what I drew because it's gonna come back in the painting as we go. Draw it in advance so you can have an idea where everything will be in the painting. But I know, even though I pretty much covered up all the drawing that I did, I still have a very good idea. I can still see very loosely. You can still see all of my areas there. Come on, girl. Come on. And she knows she gets to eat around this time of the day. So she's like, "Hey, when are you gonna give me my food?" You can always come back later and add some more of these darker colors, like just a little bit of gray in here, a little bit dark. You want maybe a little bit of a lighter white because you notice that it kind of like that white kind of like fades in and it kind of disappears a little bit. Once it dries, it gets dark. So I'm just adding a little bit more white to have a little bit more variety there. I'm using a flat brush about the width of my fingertip. I would say maybe like a half inch, 3/4 of an inch. And it is a Master's Touch brand, Bright. It's called a Bright brush. A bright brush is a lot like a flat brush, but the difference between a bright, if you see the word bright on a brush, it's because the bristles are a little bit shorter than you normally see on a flat brush. So that is the difference. All right, I'm gonna clean that off. And then I'm gonna start with my magenta. I'm still using that flat brush. I'm gonna grab my magenta, and in my original, I know you can see a picture up here on the top right. I'm just gonna show you this one as well. In my original, I chose to paint the L and the large heart down here in that magenta color first. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing, and I'm just gonna put my and I can hardly even see where my L was, so I'm just gonna do this. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just gonna put a solid layer of that magenta. It was quinacridone magenta. But if you don't have that same exact color, you can just use whatever you have. Maybe you have a different hot pink base. Okay, so I'm gonna have an L there. I'm gonna make the top a little bit higher. It doesn't have to be perfect either. And then right here at the heart, gonna make this heart start it off with that magenta as well. Okay, beautiful color. Okay, so the next color is the red. I'm gonna clean off this magenta. So right now we're just making that background color first before we can do anything else. I'm gonna take this, I think this one's primary red. That's what I decided to use. It almost has like a little bit of an orange tone, so I'm wondering if I chose Pyro red. Let's see. I have so many reds. Oh, it is Pyro. It is Pyro red. It's got a little bit of an orange tint to it, but you can use any red you want. Super vibrant red. I'm gonna calm it down though because I'm gonna make it look kind of vintage. All right, this one here is going to be the same. I'm actually gonna make this one a little bit darker because I don't want them all to be the same shade. I want to have a little bit of a vintage tone to it. So I'm gonna add just a teeny bit of black. And you can also add a little bit of green, and that's gonna add a little bit to your red. So it's a really wonky E. I need to spray my paints because they're drying out already. Let me get my sprayer. Moist. Okay. Oops, that's not what I wanted. I'll come back over here and mix that. Yeah, you see how that kind of adds a little bit of a dark, it brings in a darker tone like that. You know what? I'm gonna grab some yellow. I'm gonna change that tone just a little. I'm just trying to make sure that they're not the same exact color. And that's just a preference of mine, no other reason. I want a variety of colors on here. All right, let's go to Uh, this part now is gonna be red. So this is kind of like the part of the painting where you're just kind of blocking everything in. And I remember last night when I was painting this, I was like, "Oh goodness, this is not maybe I'm gonna throw this away and I'm not gonna use it." But I stuck with it because I didn't like where it was going. And I stuck with it and I said, "You know what? I think this might actually be in something pretty nice." And so as I went and I continued working on it, started creating its own beauty without me even realizing that it was happening. So I got all excited, like, "Oh, yay. I think I'm actually gonna be able to paint this with you." So, super exciting. So just to let you know, things like that do happen often. I was probably halfway through the painting last night before I really said, "Okay, this is a keeper." So keep that in mind for those of y'all who go through those stages. 'Cause I was seriously considering, I'm like, "Okay, I'm not gonna be able to." We were out of town until late yesterday, and so I haven't had a chance to update my I knew that I had scheduled to go live with y'all, um, for Thursday, and I was like, "You know what? I don't even know what I'm painting." Like, I hadn't even decided what I was painting. And so I came in my shop, my art studio late last night, and I was like, "Okay, I have to paint something." And I know I've already put the live sketch out there, and this is how so y'all know, this doesn't happen all the time, but it does happen often. I was like, "Okay, I know I wanna paint something Valentine-y," and I've already sent out the schedule, and the schedule says it's gonna be love and hearts. So my first thought was, okay, I'm going to take the word love, and inside the word love, I'm gonna put a bunch of hearts, all different colors, and so it's just a big love sign with a bunch of little mini hearts, and that didn't work out, like, this took on its own shape as I was creating it, and so I was super excited about it. Alright. Now, y'all see what I'm doing? I'm deciding on where I want all these different colors, and I've gone 2 letters or 2 items each color. So I have 2 magentas, 2 red, actually 3, change that one to be a little bit darker. Actually 3 reds, and then 2, fluorescent pinks, and then I'm gonna make this one green. Make that one with this green right here, but I want the green. I'm cleaning off my paintbrush right now. I want the green to be a vintagey green. So right now, I'm gonna show you what the green looks like. You know, take a minute to calm it down. See, it's too vibrant for me. I want it to be more of an olive green. So I'm going to grab some yellow and some black, actually. Put some black in there. And yellow and black make the most beautiful green. I know at first when you look at it, it's like, "Oh, that's an ugly green," but it's actually one of the most beautiful greens I love to use because it's kind of like a olivey color. A little bit more black there. And I'm gonna grab some white. There we go. That's more of what I want. It's a lot less. Yes, that's a prettier green. It's got a lot of olive tones in it. little bit lighter. Okay. So far, so good. And I have a lot of paint on my paintbrush and I don't want to waste it. So watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to take that green and I'm going to save it back on the palette here and bring that all back together. So I love to use a palette knife to mix my colors together. You can see that I'm just kind of remixing it all together right here. Okay. Clean that palette knife off, clean my paintbrush off. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back to my liner brush. And I'm going to use my burnt umber. My burnt umber on the side right here. I'm going to take burnt umber. I'm going to work on rope. And I should probably be doing this because I'm contaminating all of my yellow. And I'm going to bring in some yellow in my burnt umber. And I'm going to make kind of like a vintage, grab a little bit of black in there. I'm going to make like a vintage rope color. Let's go with some brown. I want it to kind of have the same tones of the greens, but I want it to be more yellowy. See, I know it looks like an ugly color, but scheme of things with what I'm working with, and because I'm focusing on like a vintage, it's okay that it's not the doesn't look like the most beautiful color, but it's going to work with what I'm doing. I've added some of the gold and from the golds that's already in here. Okay, and I know that I'm saying gold, but it's yellow. So yellow is already in here in the green. Yeah, using this yellow. So using that already part of the painting, then you're gonna see how it's gonna work well together compared to like just going in your stash and grabbing a different yellow. Then you're bringing in a totally different hue to your painting. So this is a combination of burnt umber. Now watch how I'm doing this. I'm taking my pinky and I'm holding my pinky down. I don't know if you can see that. I'm gonna pick it up a little bit. I'm holding my pinky down on the board. And I'm using that as a steady guide. And it's stopping me from shaking. So I'm gonna hold my pinky down, not put it in the red wet paint like I just did. I'm gonna hold my pinky down on my board and I'm gonna line. Let me go this way. So I'm going to, let's go right here. Need a little bit more paint. That really helps you stop shaking. Because sometimes, some days I have the shakes, and some days I don't. And so sometimes we need a little bit of help to keep our shake in control. All right, so this is going to be the first layer of my rope. Okay, so far so good. Now, I know it doesn't look like it's the greatest color in the world, but trust me, trust me, trust me. You will see how it's going to work. Okay, I'm still letting all of this other stuff inside dry, and in the meantime, I'm going to take my flat brush again, my kind of like a medium-sized flat brush, and I'm going to start working on my vines. And so, you know what? Before I do my vines, let me do this. I'm going to take some more of that brown. I'm going to mix it in a little bit more water, and I'm going to kind of just kind of guide my vines. Just give myself an idea of where I want some of these lines to go. And based on where you put your letters, that's kind of where I would decide where you're gonna put your vines. You kind of wanna use the vines and the, the roses that we're gonna put down here. You kinda wanna use that based on where you have some holes in between, your letters. Or like right here, I feel like that would be a good place to add some vine because I kinda left a hole right there, okay? And I'm gonna put my bird I'm still gonna put my bird right here. So, I'm gonna do like I did last time. I made a vine come all the way through and all the way down. I wanted to kind of give the illusion of like a climbing rose bush, but not exactly, I mean, I know it's not gonna look exactly like a lemon rose bush. Let's right here. Just kind of filling in some areas. I like the corners. I like to do something in the corners that always kind of pulls everything together and just kind of, rounds it up. So, just gonna do that. Again, I'm gonna leave this open because I know I wanna put the bird right there, but I'm just gonna kinda give it a good full shiny look everywhere else. Okay, then I'm gonna come with my flat brush, and I'm gonna go back into the green, and I'm actually gonna pull a little bit of this brown in that little holiday. And I'm gonna fill that paintbrush up. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna hold back. Super, super lots of paint. And then I'm just gonna let it flow off of the brush in different areas. Just kind of off of those vines. I'm just gonna kind of produce some really impressionistic leaves that are coming off of the vines. Let's get some maybe a little bit of white. Yeah, I like that color. Add a little bit more water. Oops, did not mean to do that. I'm just pushing with the paintbrush, and I'm making sure I'm using kind of like the side of the paintbrush because I don't want it to look like squares. I'm using a flat brush. I want it to look like squares. If I use the brush flat, it looks like that. I don't want that. So I'm using the tip of the paintbrush and kind of makes little very impressionistic leaves. Don't think too much about it. If you think too much about it, that's what makes you have doubts about what you're doing. I'm just kind of filling in some creative here. Okay, and then take a step back and look at it. What do you think? Do you think it's full enough? Do you think you need more? What do you think? Maybe reshape some of them. All right, I'm going to grab some yellow and I'm going to bring in a little bit more of that cadmium yellow into these leaves. And this is the reason why I'm doing that. In just a few minutes, we're going to paint, and I've already painted this once, so I'm telling you what I've realized after I painted it. I didn't know what color to put the bird because the bird was the last thing that I did when I painted. The colors were, the reds and the pinks and the greens. But then I was like, gosh, I'll put a blue bird. I'm feeling it's just gonna throw everything off. So I wanted to make sure that I kept the same warm tones in the reds and the greens that I already had. So I kept the yellow that I had already used in a lot of the painting so that everything was cohesive. I didn't bring in another color that would have just like thrown all of the color hues off. So I used the yellow here because I used the yellow everywhere else. So that's why I want to make sure that you can see that yellow in the leaves, even though it's just a little squirt here and there, it's not everywhere. But using the same colors over and over in your paintings, what helps bring, keeps the eyes happy and doesn't you look at it, you don't get confused at what you're looking at, or it feels good when you look at it. Y'all know what I'm talking about because when you go in a store and you're shopping for something, or maybe you're scrolling on the internet and you uh, see a variety of, let's say it's paintings, it's a bunch of paintings, and there's maybe like 9 paintings, and you're looking at all the paintings, but there's one of them that when you look at it, you get this feeling. You just get a feeling, you're like, "Oh, this is my favorite painting." We all do that, and we all have a different feeling. Well, that's kinda what I'm talking about here. You wanna create a painting that's gonna give you that feeling of calmness, you know, y'all understand what I'm saying? I'm sure y'all do, right? If you remember that subscriber, if you can get access to it. Oh, okay. Yes, ma'am. Yes. Otherwise, it's available for 10 days to the public. Okay. Super awesome so far. Now, what I want to do is I want to go back to this is actually a new paintbrush that I'm introducing into the mix. I just took a take that back. I'm going back to my liner brush. And I'm gonna look for another liner brush because this one's just a little bit too the bristles are a little bit too long. This one might be better. I think I like that one better. Yeah, these are shorter. That means I'm gonna have a little bit more control over what I'm doing. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm going to take some of the fluorescent pink and mix a little bit of white in it, just a little bit, because I want to tone it down just a little bit. And I'm gonna make some stripes on my L. Very, very loose. Very loose. Okay, and then I'm gonna take a little bit more of the fluorescent pink, and I'm gonna make some dots, little polka dots. Um, Part here using the same paintbrush. And then I think I'm gonna add a little variety. I'm gonna use a little bit of red, see if it shows up. If I put some red dots as well. That shows up. And then I took a little bit of black and I made a few little stripes on the side, just on one side, just to give it a little balance or take away the balance, maybe. Okay. Yes, we shop with our eyes. Yes, we do. And we actually shop by our feelings. It may seem like we're shopping with our eyes, but it's really based off of what kind of feeling does it end up giving. Does that make sense? And so I'm coming back with a light pink. And that light pink is made by just the fluorescent pink with white. And I'm making some more dots. Okay, so this one here, I added some little squigglies. I didn't really, after I did it, I was like, I don't really like those squigglies. But I went with it. I'll show you what I'm talking about. See how I made those little squigglies? But I wasn't sure what else to do. So I'm taking my magenta right now, and it's a really dark magenta. I'm gonna bring in a little bit of that pink in there. I'm just trying to make it a little bit more magenta. And I think I'm just gonna make some X's instead of some squigglies. Maybe I'll do some X's and also I don't like this color, but I'm gonna go with it. I'm using a paintbrush. You could definitely use, if you had some paint pens, you could use that. I like that. That looks pretty good. All right, cleaning that off. Now on my E, I decided to use some little flowery petals in green. Mix up some more of my green color here, which I'm kind of running low on. And I'm just gonna make some little flowery petals, just like almost like a star. I want them to look like little flowers. Let me get a little more yellow on my palette. I love how you're so creative with your brush and your imagination. It's so much fun to allow yourself to do that. And you know, I'm gonna tell you, Miss Cecile, um, I don't always have that creativity. I get stuck a lot, and I catch myself saying, "I don't know what I'm gonna paint. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do?" And I fight through that by putting down the phone, putting down Pinterest, stop looking at what everybody else is creating, like comparing yourself to what else is out there.
and just let it just let it come out, whatever it is. Sometimes I don't even know what it is. When I sit down, I'm like, "What am I gonna do today? What am I gonna create today?" I have no idea what I'm gonna create today. What do I feel like creating today? That's the first question, is I ask myself, "What do I feel like creating today? Do I wanna do flowers? Do I wanna do landscape? What's gonna make me happy?" Um, and so and I noticed one thing about me is painting, I love painting animals. I love painting landscapes. They are 2 things that touch my heart. Y'all know how much animals touch our hearts. I know most of y'all are animal lovers like I am, and there's just something about animals that I love. And then also mountain landscapes or just landscapes in general. And so those are the kind of things I like to paint. Every once in a while, I get a little crazy hair like this, and I'm like, "All right, let me just do something that's easy that I don't have to think that much about." You know, it's just kind of like a I consider this more of a crafty painting than a real like a fine art painting. I guess more of a whimsical painting. And sometimes that's all I feel like doing. I don't wanna go into that really heavy stuff, you know? And so you just have to take a minute and just think about it, see what happens, because you never know. When I finished this painting last night, I was, like, surprised. I was like, "What did I just do? What?" It was fun. Okay, so that one's gonna get some little flowers, and this one right here is gonna get I need more yellow. I keep on grabbing my yellow. It's going to get some stripes, like almost like a plaid. And I'm going to let me put my water over here. Okay. I'm gonna make like a lighter green first. And I'm gonna just make some stripes. Go all the way across. And then I'm gonna go in the other direction. That's not light enough. And then I'm gonna go much darker. So I'm gonna take some of this green and black. You can also do green and red. I have the red right here. I can definitely use that. And make like a much darker green. Does not have to be perfect. Just trying to make some designs. All right. That's not too bad. Okay, I'm gonna use, oh, I forgot this one. We're gonna use that magenta again. We're gonna make some more of those little flowers. So the colors that you choose may be different from the colors that I've chosen here, but that's okay. All right, let's bring in some white on this last one. Okay, so far so good. Now, this is my favorite part. Okay, this is my favorite part. I'm going to start just randomly placing some little mini roses all over and watch this painting come alive. So, this is how I'm going to start it. I'm going to use some magenta. Okay, I'm going to start with the magenta and I'm going to start down here because this is all wet. So, I'm going to just start down here. And I'm just gonna make some little commas over and over and, just like some little, um, curves in a couple of places, and then I'm gonna come back with that fluorescent pink on top of it, kinda more on the outside. I want the inside of the roses to kinda look like, have a darker center, but I want the outside to have a little bit more of a lighter color. So what I just did is I added a little bit of white in there to give it a little more bright. And I'm gonna just kinda change the colors up a little bit and do another one here with a little bit of the light colors. I'm gonna add a little white. Okay, so I'm gonna turn my painting so I can work better on these other areas. I'm also gonna bring in some red, a red one. So I'm gonna start with the red. Let me just go ahead and use up all the red that I have on my paintbrush. Just choose random spots. Then I'm gonna take this pink, just make sure you have a lot of paint on your paintbrush when you're doing this. And it just kind of, if you just stay in basically a little, you make them like parentheses over and over while you're doing, and it's kind of like in a circle. I do not like that color. I do not. So I'm gonna take that off. I got the white mixed in with something that I don't like. And so I'm gonna try to get a little cleaner pinkish white going on here. I'm a very messy painter. I'm sure you realize that now. Just like I'm a very messy cook as well. Okay, keep that going. Now I'm gonna use some more magenta. Starting with a darker color, and then I'm ending with a lighter color. This is so much fun. Just make your little mini roses. And don't think about it too much. Just let it happen. How cute they are. This to me is the most fun part. I'm basically looking at my leaves and I'm placing a flower just to kind of bundle up, make it look like a bush, like there's a little rose on this rose bush area. I hope that makes sense. I didn't really explain it very well. So, I'll explain it again and give you a thought process. So I'm looking at these leaves and I'm like, okay, I wanna fill this in a little bit more. So in between the leaves, I'm putting a rose. Okay, in between the leaves, I'm putting in and let's add a little more white to that. All right, so that's the color that I don't like, the magenta with the white. I want the pink with the white. The magenta with the white is making it purple, and I don't want a purple, I wanna keep it all pink. So, I'm just don't tell Miss Pat I said that. I don't know if Miss Pat is on here. Miss Pat is our purple lover. I know this looks empty because I'm putting a bird right here, remember that. And we have some vintage touches to add to everything as well. Okay, so I'm about to put my toothbrush in my water, then I drink it. We should not do that. All right, one more, one more push with the roses. I'm just gonna make some little rose buds open. Very cute, but I'm just gonna they don't even look like rosebuds, but I'm just gonna make a few little random places. And then I'm gonna come back with a little bit of white on top of those. Actually, a little bit of pink and white. Okay. All right, here is something else that we are going to do. I know this painting is actually much longer than I expected it to be. I'm gonna use matte medium. Okay? Use some matte medium, and I'm gonna make a glaze over my letters. And this one's not open. I thought I had a matte medium out yesterday. Oh, yes, here it is. Okay, so I'm gonna just take, y'all can't see that. Let me show you right here. You know what? I'm gonna do it in another little tray so y'all can see it. I'm gonna take some matte medium and I'm gonna take my medium paintbrush and I'm gonna take a teeny bit of burnt umber and I'm gonna make a glaze. I don't want to use too much burnt umber. Very, very little. Okay. So I put, you saw how little amount of burnt umber I put in this matte medium. So this is what this is going to do. This is probably a little bit too much. uh, Okay, so what that's going to do is come back. Nope, I could add a little more burnt umber in there. I'm just trying it out before I tell y'all what to do. Okay, I'm making some vintage areas on my love and my um yeah, I'm gonna use a little bit. Okay, so on certain areas on my letters and my heart, I'm gonna bring in a little bit of vintage touch. Some people use wax. I like to just use acrylic paint. So my focus is bring in a little bit of darker vintagey feel. And I'm kind of focusing on like the left side of all of those areas. Let's see how it's almost like a transparent, makes like a transparent color on top of everything else that you have. Now I'm gonna let it float off a little bit. You see how I'm letting it actually show on the edges off of the color. I'm just gonna add a little bit of the brown. Not everywhere, just in some places. And that's gonna give it a little bit more of that vintage feel that I'm trying to get going on here. Oops, see, I made a boo-boo. I'll fix it though. Y'all see what I did? I grabbed my rose and I pulled it down, but I'll show y'all how to fix that. Center right. I gotta let it dry first, and then I'll fix it. Okay, I'm also going to add a little bit, instead of just brown, I'm gonna add a little bit of black. Bring it in. Yeah, okay, that's good. And my paintbrush is a little bit big. Let me go down to a smaller size. Right on the edge, I'm gonna make like a shadow. And I'm gonna make that shadow continue in a few areas. I'm focusing mostly on the right side of the letters and the hearts for this shadow area. And I'm also going to make it, see, I picked up that rose color again. I'm also going to make it show up underneath the rope. Like there's a shadow. And these are the things that really start tying the painting in together. And even under the roses, the climbing roses, okay, right here. So under the roses to the right, I'm gonna add some shading. The roses are causing a shadow or a shade on the back side fence. So I'm thinking kind of down to the right is basically what I'm going for. So what I mean is like I'm looking at this leaf right here and I'm saying, okay, I want a shadow off of that leaf. So down to the right, I'm looking at this leaf, down to the right of that leaf, I want a shadow. Down to the right of this flower, I want a shadow. So that's basically down to the right. All right, it's getting there, but it's not there yet. I'm gonna go a little bit more. With those tones. Let me bring in a little bit more gray. I think that might do better. Not quite so much brown. So I'm revamping that just a little. Yeah, I like the gray a little bit more. Trying to get some white. I like the gray better than the revamping. Changing my mind just a little through the process. Get a little bit more of that gray in there. So this black that I'm using is called ivory black. And it definitely has a cool tone to it because I can see some blues coming out in it. Really like it. I want to add to the rope. I still have a lot to do, so not a lot, but I still have some to do. I want to add to the rope. I'm going to add some more medium here. I'm going to add to the rope a little bit of movement. So look at the white. Okay, there's my white. It's clean white, and I'm going to use a little bit of medium. You have to this around so you can see those colors. I'm going to use, and I'm going to grab a little bit of burnt umber and yellow again, and some matte medium, and some white. There we go. I want like a really yellowy, whitish color. Yellow, kind of tan, basically. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make like a little line, kind of like a little all the way across. And my pinky again to kind of hold myself steady. And that's going to help this look more like a rope than just a brown line. Just comma, 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 comma. And the least you think about it, the better. Okay, look how much difference that makes already. Then I'm going to come with another layer of just a little bit lighter, more of the white. I'm adding some white to it. And then again, just a little bit lighter. And not on top of those lines, in between those other lines. And not every line, just some of them. That's just the way I paint. I try not to be perfect. And I need to add, I'm thinking of things, I know I need to fix this. I'll get to that eventually. Initially I added black in here. I think I want to add this color because it's really pretty. Instead, I'm going to try to the center of my little flowers. It's kind of like a really, really, really light yellow. Yeah, I like that. And then on this one down here, I'm going to add a neon green. I'm going to mix the yellow and the green. Using the back side of my paper, and I'm just mixing this. It makes it easy to put little dots with the back side of your brush. So I used cadmium yellow and just a little bit of green to make that color. All right. Let me fix this. And I'll fix it even more by adding another leaf right here. And taking that color and take a teeny bit of white and just kind of highlight some of the edges. Let's see if we can get our bird in here. When we put our bird, we might see that we need to make some adjustments to some other things, depending on how this yellow bird comes out. So I'm gonna take yellow and white and make a nice little mixture. Very, very random little bird. I'm just basically going to make like 2 circles. And then almost like a figure 8. And then his tail is going to come down here. I'm going to make him have a little bit of a poked area up there. Like his hair has a little bit of a something happening. A dot for an eye. 2 little show up 2 little feet. I need an orange for the beak, and that's probably the only place that I have orange in this whole painting. So let me see if I can make a quick little bright orange here. A little bit more yellow. Super cute. All right, a little bit more white on his body. A little bit more yellow. Add a teeny bit of that. He's kind of crooked, but that's okay. Okay, so when I added that yellow in here and I look at everything, I feel like I need a little bit more yellow in other places to make it more cohesive. I don't know if y'all see that like I do. So I'm going to come in here and add just some flowers that have not really flowers, but maybe just a little bit of the just a little bit more of that yellow in the leaves. Tie everything together. And a little bit of white. Don't be afraid. Just do it. Yeah, see that ties it in a lot. Just adding that little splash of yellow everywhere because you don't want the bird to like stand out and like boom, your eyes just go there and you miss everything else. So you want to have a little bit of frequency and make sure that everything is more cohesive. And you know what? Maybe, just maybe, I should do this. Let's see if that'll tie it in even better. I'm gonna put the centers of these flowers to be yellow instead of white like they were. Yep. See, that ties it in even more. So that's good adjustment there, just to give you an idea of how to okay, and also this, I'm gonna add a little bit more of that yellow. Right, there we go. That still ties it in even more. Right, let's do this and see if we've got that we had initially. I feel like I'm missing something. Missing. So we gotta put our little shadow bird for sure. And get that shadow just right. There's something I know I'm missing. What am I missing? Oh, yes, thank you. The little safety pins or whatever that's connecting the rope to the letter. Okay, so this one's gonna be super long. Let's go a little bit darker. I'm just using brown, that same mixture. This one's kind of crooked, but that's okay. Yes, it's gonna make a big difference. Look how cute. Could put another one here. All right, let's highlight that too. I feel like it needs a little bit more. Is this not the most fun painting you've ever done? I think this is gonna be one of my favorites. Just a little bit of highlights on our little clothesline hangers. And you know, I'm just gonna do one more thing just because I'm having so much fun. A little bit of Pyro Red. Just gonna come in. I feel like this needs a little bit of highlight. And maybe even a little bit right here. I'm trying to make that red a little more red. Pretty close, pretty close. I need a little bit more right here, which means I need a little rose sticking out. Few little touch-ups here and there. I'm just studying it for a minute. I feel like I want a little bit more of a lighter tone back here in some areas. Just for a little more contrast. Gotta get that contrast. The contrast is not quite deep enough, so dark's the lights, the dark's the light. That's what I'm going for. So I'm just trying to highlight the background a little to push the letters and the hearts up in front. Just kind of going through, finding that. I like it. I like it. I like it. Maybe. I know y'all are gonna say, when do you stop? I don't know. I just when you're in a groove, you're just in a groove. You do it. And this more right here. Okay, done. I'm almost done. Bring in those little branches again. We kind of lost our branches, so we're bringing them back. Okay. I'm gonna call it. All right, guys. I think I'm done. I think I'm done. I might be done, I might not. I think it looks pretty good. Y'all can see it? So let's compare, because I always love to do that. That's the that's the new one. And this is the old one. Now, I do want to say I do like the frame, the white little frame around here, and this one does not have that white frame. So that does make a difference. However, if you were to I really like this one better in this one. If you were to, wanna frame this, just put it in this is an 11 by 14. You could just buy a mat. It's just an idea. Buy a white mat and put it in a matted frame, and then do it that way. Or you could just frame it. If you did frame it, just a white frame, and then that would give it a whole another dimension as well. So, yes, this is a super fun, challenging painting that has no limitations. Just have fun, and I hope you enjoy this. I had a super fun time playing this, and I hope you do too. And thank y'all all for being here with me. This ended up being a really long painting. You know what? Sometimes you just have to do that. All right, guys. Thank y'all so much for being here. We'll see you next time on In the Den with Jen.